First, let's talk about dignity for all. It's the focus of a school curriculum addressing issues like racism and hate, as well as aiming to promote safe communities for our children. Here now, Patricia Bransford, the founder of Urban Tech, and middle school student Armagan Chowdhury. I say it right, Armagan?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
A little bit of background about Urban Tech.
Well, we were formed 22 years ago, and with the actually mission to help children build relational skills, more respect for each other, and be able to increase their academic performance.
So it's a curriculum that you've presented. The Dignity for All is the program that you're here to talk about now.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about how that came to be.
Okay, so for 22 years we've been doing Youth Leadership Academy, which actually is in place for leadership among young people.
I've heard of that.
And then we became very concerned about bullying in schools and discrimination. And so we started 3 years ago to do some deep research on the topic. And are just launching it for the first time now at Armagan School in Queens. And that actually deals with looking at what bullying is, as opposed to conflict resolution or other problems that arise between kids.
Right.
It's a real dysfunction that causes kids to be really concerned, worried. It arises, a lot of discrimination has come out of it, a lot of bullying.
So it's not just shaming about someone's weight or height nowadays. This is what your research found?
Right. It is actually young people who have been threatened themselves sometimes by home situations or school situations.
Color of skin?
Color of skin. It could be sex. It could be religion.
Wow.
Today you'll see a lot of discrimination against Jews, a lot of discrimination against
people, children
Mexican
of color,
children of color,
right.
Muslim children. And we think it's now's the time to begin to build bridges, to begin to build that understanding. The empathy that comes with understanding who people are, where they come from. We encourage them to tell their stories, and then we reflect on some of those stories, and kids then build the awareness that they can do something about it.
Let's bring Armagan into the conversation. You're 12 years old,
yes.
Middle school student.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced anything like what Ms. Bransford is talking about?
I have experienced bullying in the past, and it happened actually quite recently, and I like to participate and do extracurricular activities. I'm a straight A student. I always get good grades, and then people, they get jealous of me and they want to be like me, and then they start to bully me, like, because they're not capable of doing.
They're jealous. They're hating.
They're jealous.
Let's just call it what it is, Armagan.
And I also have a friend. He's my best friend, and he asks a lot of questions. He's curious. And then people make fun of him for that just because he's curious and he wants to know things when he needs to know something.
How do you handle it?
Sometimes I do get, like, I feel down whenever they say something to me, but I don't really let it get to me because they have their own problems. They're taking their anger out on me, and that's not how it should be.
Do you feel that there is a guidance counselor, or has the school allowed itself, we're going to go back to Dignity for All, but has the school established some sort of avenue for you to go and address this experience? Yeah, and are you comfortable doing that?
I am comfortable going to a guidance counselor or an adult, like, to talk about something that happened to me or something that I see that's going on. And this program, I feel that right now, people don't understand what bullying is, and by people I mean our younger generation. So this program is going to help us take a stand because it's going to help us educate other people, ourselves, and then that's the purpose of Dignity for All.
So how many schools is Dignity for All in place, Pat?
This will be the first school, actually.
Armagan School.
Yes, we for the last 22 years have been in over 100 schools teaching other topics, youth leadership, personal appearance,
building esteem and confidence.
Building esteem and confidence. But this is the first time we've really taken a serious move to do something about the stress and the hate crimes that are going on in schools today.
Let's break this down. You're dealing with a tri-level thing here. You've got young people, you've got bullying, and then you've got this climate where racism is very much, it's on the dinner table. It's a conversation. You've got Charlottesville, and how are you trying to explain to young kids, you know, the messages and the images? How do you, is that worked into the program? Is that part of Dignity?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it starts with a conversation. We do panels. Amagan was one of our panelists.
Okay.
Our young people are telling their stories, and we're listening carefully. And then we're beginning to tell them how they can make a difference. And they are putting plans in place in the school to make sure it's safe and supportive. Make sure we aren't supporting the kind of behavior and attitudes that Amagan is talking about.
Where can people find more information, Pat, on Dignity for All? So maybe some parent right now can say, I want this to be looked at in my child's school.
Well, we've got a website. It's www.urbantech.org. I'd love to talk to anybody who's interested in opening this up in a school. We'd like to be in schools all over New York City, all over the country. We think that now's the time to have a national mandate about this problem.
And a point I would like to add is that we have to do this now, because bullying can take a toll on someone's personality. For example, a person can be very happy, outgoing, and they're always expressing their feelings, but then all of a sudden they start to get bullied. The next day they won't be that same happy person anymore. They'll be sad and depressed. So that shows how big of an impact bullying can have on a person like me or my classmates.
Let me say something to you, young man. You stand up for yourself always. Mm-hmm. The best gift that your parents gave you is confidence in yourself. You know who you are. Yeah. Don't you ever let anybody take that from you. I was one of the kids who actually stood up for kids that was bullied, you know, that were bullied when I was a little kid. I don't know if that still happens, you know, but know that there are people who are not afraid. And I grew up in the 70s, so you know, I'm like old as I don't know what, you know, but there are kids that grew up that will say, this is not right. So no, do not shut down. You continue to make straight A's, get super A's if you can, and then just remember some other kid that you may see along it. But no, don't ever give in to that. All right, coming up next, everybody.